What if I told you one man pulled off a $215,000 bank heist and wasn't caught for over 50 years? This isn't a Hollywood movie, it's real. Ted Conrad walked out of his bank job in 1969 with a paper bag full of cash and disappeared. But here's the twist. He didn't run to another country. He lived a quiet life as a car salesman, a husband, a father, right under everyone's nose. Today, we uncover the story of America's most audacious fugitive. It was July 11, 1969. A 20-year-old bank teller named Ted Conrad walked into his job at the Society National Bank in Cleveland, Ohio, just like any other day. But this wasn't just another day. By the time he left, he would pull off one of the boldest bank heists in American history. Instead of ski masks, guns, or getaway cars, Ted's weapon was simplicity. He simply filled a paper bag with $215,000 in cash, equivalent to over $1.6 million today, and walked out the front door. No alarms, no violence, no panic. When his absence was noticed days later, Ted was already gone. The country was stunned, and the manhunt began. Investigators compared it to the infamous D.B. Cooper case. But unlike Cooper, Ted didn't vanish into thin air. He just became someone else. Ted Conrad vanished from Cleveland, leaving behind his family, friends, and everything he knew. But instead of fleeing to another country or hiding underground, he did something few would expect. He stayed in plain sight. Ted assumed a new identity. Thomas Randele. Under this name, he moved to a quiet suburb near Boston, Massachusetts. For over 5 decades, he lived an ordinary life. He worked as a car salesman, made friends, paid taxes, and blended perfectly into the American dream. To his neighbors, Thomas Randele was a kind, respectable man, a devoted husband and loving father. He played golf, enjoyed social events, and never gave anyone a reason to suspect his past. His life was the perfect cover because it was so normal. Meanwhile, U.S. Marshals never stopped looking. Ted Conrad's name was etched into the annals of unsolved cases, and investigators chased leads for decades. But every trail went cold. They compared him to D.B. Cooper, another mystery man who vanished into legend. The case even appeared on TV shows like America's Most Wanted. Yet no one connected Thomas Randele to Ted Conrad. He was right there in the open, but his new identity was airtight. For 51 years he managed to stay one step ahead, until time caught up with him. In 2021, Thomas Randele's carefully built life began to unravel. Not because of the law, but because of life itself. At 71 years old, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. Knowing his time was short, he made a decision that would finally close the chapter on one of America's greatest mysteries. On his deathbed, surrounded by his family, Thomas confessed the truth. He was Ted Conrad, the Cleveland bank teller who had stolen $215,000 back in 1969. His family was stunned. To them, he wasn't a fugitive. He was a father, a husband, a friend. When he passed away on May 18, 2021, the truth emerged, and investigators finally closed the file after 51 long years. Ted Conrad's story raises so many questions. Why did he do it? How did he keep his secret for so long? And perhaps the biggest question of all, was his life a success or a tragedy? In the end, Ted didn't live a life of luxury. He didn't spend decades running from law enforcement. He built a life of normalcy, far away from the chaos of his past. For over 50 years, he outsmarted the system, not through violence or cunning escapes, but through silence and reinvention. His case stands as one of America's most astonishing unsolved until the end mysteries, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary stories hide in ordinary lives. What do you think? Was Ted Conrad a criminal mastermind or just a young man who made one bold decision and spent his life living with it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode of Echoes of Time, where we bring forgotten history back to life. Until then, keep searching for the stories that echo through time.